Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at EOS, a close look, shall we? And just before we do, I'm just celebrating the fact that my bots have finally broken $10,000. All right, $10,000. You know, 47 days ago, I started this bot program with only $1,200, and 47 days later, my trading bots have smashed it. If you want to know more, obviously, join my Telegram, subscribe to this channel. There are videos about how I set those things up, but that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at EOS now. $10,000. Brilliant. Right, so for the people who have watched my videos before on EOS, and the people on my Telegram, there's some people I suppose who haven't really, they're not really, I've probably not made myself clear enough about what I'm expecting and why I'm expecting it and what's going on right now. So just a bit of an overview. The reason I'm so bullish on EOS is because we have now come out of this consolidation phase. Okay, so the top was higher than this, by the way, but the rejections were here and here and here, and now we're out of it, and this is what's known as accumulation. Accumulation can take a while, all right, and given the fact that this consolidation has taken basically 3 years, it could take a little longer. All right, so I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that EOS, for whatever reason, is better to buy than anything else. That's not my intention at all. What I'm saying though is that EOS is certainly not dead. In fact, I actually think it's going to come back to life quite dramatically. But the timing is the thing that's going to be difficult on this one. So I hear a lot of people on my Telegram saying I'm going to go 5x, 10x, 25x on this one. EOS is going to move. Well, what I'm saying is that it will move, but I don't know when. So this is how we know that there's accumulation going on. First of all, the telltale sign is there is no more rejection from this descending trend line. Okay, so we're not being rejected from it. In fact, we've broken out of it, and when we did break out of it, it was a big breakout, and that often happens when you break out of a consolidation phase like this, because people get excited. They see that it's the first time it's happened in, like I say, 3 years, and there's a fair bit of longing going into it. However, very rarely will you see this have any kind of continuation. The same thing happened with XRP when it broke out. It broke out for the first time, rallied 20%, came straight back down. Broke out of it a second time and rallied about 20% and then came back down again. So what we're seeing now is that we came back down, we kind of used it as a support. Now this anomaly wick is an interesting one. This one, it looks to me like a giant wick of death to take away as many longs as possible, because it's not just me that will be seeing this. There'll be a lot of other people seeing this and thinking this is the time to buy, this is the time to go long on EOS, which in many ways they're not wrong, but what I would be saying, in an accumulation phase, it's not the time to be going long on it. It's the time to be accumulating it, to be buying it at low levels, whether that's by dollar cost averaging or just taking some profit from your other coins, which have probably made a fair bit of money recently, and putting it into EOS, because EOS is accumulating at what will become a low level. So one way we know that this is an accumulation zone is because we can see that we have meandered amongst the 200. Well, first of all, we've got a 200 EMA and a 50 EMA. So the 200 is the white one, the green is the 50 EMA, and the big pink one is the center of the Bollinger Band, or the 20 moving average. Now what's happening here is the price action is going up and down beneath it, above it. This makes it really hard to trade. This is why I'm saying don't go long, don't go short. It's accumulation, so accumulate. So this is what happens in an accumulation zone. It goes up and down and up and down, and what happens is the moving averages all start to converge into one giant mess, which makes it harder to trade, because the moving averages are one of the best things that we've got as traders to spot a trend, and at the moment the trend is neither here or there. The one thing that we've got going for us, however, is the fact that we now know that we will not be getting rejected underneath this line anymore. This line, if anything, is support, and it would appear that we're still making, I suppose, since we broke out of it, we're making lower lows on this and lower highs. So it's technically it's not bullish right now, but it is definitely an interesting place to go into. So I'll give you a rough idea of what this looked like with XRP. And I know XRP isn't the most popular of coins at the moment, but I'm not here to show you, the demise of XRP. I'm here to show you how we were able to spot the same kind of thing take place with XRP. So accumulation takes place after the consolidation. So the consolidation went on for about 2.5 years, and then we finally broke out of it. Had a pump like what I've shown you with EOS. Now this was March, so March last year, obviously everything in the world crashed, and this basically postponed the accumulation phase. But when we finally broke out of it again, we had a pump, and then we accumulated around these levels. As you can see, we were generally below most moving averages, but meandering above and below the 20 and the 50, and then finally we broke out. And then what happened again was, because that was a big move, doesn't look like it, but that was about a 70% move from the bottom of that accumulation zone to the top of there. That's more than that, it was about 90% move. And then we consolidate again and reaccumulate, where moving averages all start to converge nice and tightly amongst each other, and you're neither here nor there. You're going up and down, up and down, up and down, because there's no edge. You don't have the edge there. But what that's known as is a reaccumulation. Okay, so we had a second opportunity at this point for XRP to reaccumulate, and then finally it paid off. It paid off for the people who had done that. Hopefully, they got out in time. So this is the same deal that we're looking at here with EOS. Although we haven't been in this period for a very long time, we are in this moment right now. We are in this accumulation zone. So what else can we look at to find out how long this is going to go on for? Well, if you go to the weekly, because this consolidation has taken years, the weekly will help us, and help us maybe narrow it down to where this is looking to make a breakout roughly, and I mean roughly, to the week perhaps, not to the hour or the day, but maybe to the week. So first of all, what we see here is this giant Ichimoku cloud. It's coming a little bit closer to an end. Okay, it's still a cloud and it's still above us, which means that it's still resistance until we start to break above it. Once we've broken above that cloud, things will be basically that's when the moves will really be made, and if not, they've already been made. And closing above there on a weekly will be very, very bullish. But because it's an Ichimoku cloud, we need to see a conversion baseline cross. Okay, so what I mean by that is this blue one here and this red one here. That's the conversion line. That's the baseline. What we want to see is the conversion line cross that baseline, and they're very, very close together. But we're not going to get across until we get our price action above it. So what we need to see is a weekly close above $3 or more, and there may be a chance that we will get that Ichimoku cloud conversion baseline cross on the weekly. And when we get that cross signifies a change in direction in the long term, because this is weekly. So what it will mean is that if that does happen, it would be safe to assume that this move down, these stair steps down, has now ended, and we will be looking for stair steps back up, because again, we go to the daily, what we see is the accumulation takes place after the consolidation has ended, we're into accumulation, so now what we're looking for is one last little tick on this Ichimoku cloud conversion baseline. This could take place at the end of the, this is a weekly chart, so we're not going to get that read until 1 minute after midnight on Sunday, and so every Sunday I wait up until midnight to see if that crosses. Now, just because it crosses doesn't mean that the move is going to happen immediately. Doesn't mean that at all. What it means is that is a buy signal for a long-term position, for a long-term hold. It means that the direction should then at that point change and start to make higher highs. We haven't had a higher high on this since the entire time that this has been on Binance. I mean, it's just gone down and down and down. But when we get that, now that we're in the accumulation phase, we're out of consolidation, this is our last little step, and this is why I'm getting not excited, but this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the things, the main thing that I'm talking about, and this is the signal that I'm waiting for. And until that takes place, it's very difficult to go long on this one, because, like I say, when we see on the daily, you can see how it's volatile, and it's messy, and it's generally, what it's really doing here is it's obviously it's accumulating, but it's following the market. It's not doing its own movements. If Ethereum and Bitcoin go up, EOS might go up. If Ethereum and Bitcoin go down, I would imagine that the EOS will go down. It's not got its own life on it right now, because there's no edge. No trader can trade this when you see all this mess. It's very difficult to trade it. it's not impossible, but it's almost impossible to trade it, because it's basically following the other coins. It's not doing its own thing. Once it does its own thing, it'll be easier for other traders to trade it, which gives it that power, because everybody will then have the edge. People will be adding to their positions, they'll be going long, they'll be going even longer with higher leverage trades, and that's what makes the chart go up. At the moment, it can't go up at the moment because nobody knows what it's doing, and we need some more confirmation, and that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for another piece of confirmation, and for me, the thing that will do it will be that Ichimoku Cloud Conversion baseline cross. Now, if we have a look at some of these other indicators on the weekly, yeah, I mean that is it's messy still, but it is still positive, which is the MACD. That would be the MACD on the daily is positive, but it's in negative territory, and the money flow index is looking okay, but neither here nor there. We'll go to a monthly just for fun, and what we see on the monthly is something very good actually on the RSI, which is quite long standing now, bullish divergence taking place on the RSI. So the RSI is making higher highs and higher lows as the price action is making lower highs and lower lows. So that is a very, very good sign of something that's going to be extremely volatile in the long term. But you see, I'm looking at this on long term. I'm looking at weekly charts and monthly charts. All right. So from I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of this when I'm talking. EOS is going to make some big moves, but I'm looking at, say, extremely lagging indicators here on the monthly and on the weekly that are extremely bullish, for a big move. But they are also weekly and monthly charts. Do you know what I mean? So to say that you can't really go long on. Let's just have a look at that monthly again. We can't say, oh, let's put a long position in, because since 2019 we've had bullish divergence take place. You can't say that, but what I can say is that we have got bullish divergence in place on the monthly. That's massive. When you have something that's been taking place for that long, it's coiling up for a giant move. So this, like I say, I do believe is going to have a giant move in it. I'm very confident that it will, but timing is going to be difficult. But when we're in accumulation, it's time to accumulate. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. Now, I don't want people to go buying loads of EOS because I've said it's an accumulation phase, especially when we're in what appears to be an alt season and there's altcoins rallying left, right and centre. Because, I'm sure you can make your own picks, and more appropriate ones at that. But for me, it's worth putting, in my mind, it's worth putting a little bit in this as and when during this period of accumulation, because inevitably what I'm looking at is telling me that it's going to make a big move, a massive move, and perhaps this will be the year where it maybe even recovers its all-time high, which is higher than what we see here on Binance. Its all-time high was around about $23, and it could make it back up to those levels. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. I hope that clears things up. Join my Telegram and subscribe to the channel. Take it easy.